So I came to New York for the very first time, and I never experienced anything super kink at all. I drove my Buick down, I parked, I had the G1, like the original Google phone.
Yeah.
It was like the smartest thing I've ever held in my hand. And so I Googled, I don't know, fun stuff to do in New York or whatever. And like one of the first things to pop up was this kink club in New York called Paddles.
So wait,
Oh, paddles.
you just drove to New York just because you weren't moving? Were you trying to move here?
No, I drove to New York with $200 in my pocket.
Just for like the weekend kind of
Because
thing?
this is Christmas. I don't have a family. I didn't celebrate my birthday. I just wanted to fucking hang out and have fun.
Wow. So you
And
looked
so
up
I went for an
places
adventure.
to go to.
I'm not kidding you. If I died, I would have been okay with it. Because I would have died having fun and being an adventurer.
And you weren't
And
into
so-
the kink scene at this point. You
I
knew
had no
nothing
idea
about
what the fuck it was.
You
And
ended
I
up
was,
at a club called Paddles.
yeah. So Paddles popped up and it was a Sunday and I just fucking rolled in and it ended up being like the bondage club night.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, have you ever seen Nightmare on Elm Street where like there's just like the junkyard with like all the cars all stacked?
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like a parking lot that we had to walk through. This was before that whole building on the corner was built. What is it? 26th and 8th. There was no building there. It used to be a big parking lot where like cars are just stacked. And so I had to walk through all these cars to try to find this entrance. And on this massive brick wall, there was just one door with like these plastic curtains, like the plastic, like, freezer curtains.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, just assuming this is it. If I wander into like death, I would be cool. I went down like stairs, a few flights. There's a mirror on one side. And then suddenly there's like a locked door and a little window. And so I knock on the window, it opens up and he's like, $20. And I'm like, I don't know where I am. Verbatim. I don't know where I am. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I just got here from Massachusetts. I really have no clue like what I'm doing.
And he's like, come inside.
I'm like, I just
boy.
parked outside. He's like, oh, he's like, you're 21, right? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, all right, cool. And he buzzed the door. He's like, come around. I go inside. And they're like, here, just put your bag here. It was like the clothing's check. And there were two people that were there. They were just like, you never been here before? I'm like, no. They're like, you've been to New York? I'm like, this is my first time in New York. I literally just parked outside. They walked me around the whole place. They showed me racks. They showed me like all these areas where people are getting beaten. They're getting like...
Give the whole tour.
There's a pile of people fucking on the second floor up above like this in this loft that overlooks everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody is being suspended. They're tied in ropes and they're being suspended from this wooden structure. Mm-hmm. There are tables and people are tied to them. There are chairs just like along the wall with like holes in the bottom of them. There's one chair with like the arms and then there's like the legs. So like with like eye hooks so you could just tie everything. It was a feast for the eyes and then they blindfolded me and stuck me into a bird cage. Like there was that big ass bird cage in there. I'm like, wow, this cage is sick. Like you put people in that? They're like, yeah, here. And they lift it up, they're like, get inside. I'm like, what do you mean? They blindfold me, they stick me in a ball gag, they strip me and tie me to this thing and they hoist me to the ceiling. And then while I'm just up in there, hoisted, I can hear someone behind me getting electrocuted.
Yes. Not that I like electricity or anything,
What?
but like...
But you hear zap, zap.
What were you thinking at this point?
I was thinking, this is exactly what I came to New York for.
Thanks for checking out this clip from our show.
To watch more clips or full episodes, click on our profile below.
If you want to stay up to date on all of our new episodes and videos, click subscribe.
And if you have any ideas for future guests or topics that you would like to see us cover on the show,
leave us a message in the comments or connect with us on any of our social media channels at Funtime Program.
or on our website at funtimeprogram.com.
We'll see you in the next one.
Bye-bye.